Hi, my name is Sarah and welcome to Movement Yoga. Today's sequence is going to be for the hamstrings. It's a great little one that you can do to help you find a little bit more length and space through the back of the legs. You won't need any props for this class unless you have a preference for them, so maybe grab some blocks or a strap or any sort of substitute and get your space ready on the mat. Also, if you like this class, please be sure to let me know, leave me a comment down below, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel because it's a free and simple way that you can support videos, and as well turn on your notifications so that way you know whenever I post a video. Also, if you would like to connect with me in any other place on the internet, I will leave my socials, so my Instagram and my Facebook page, and you can do so. Otherwise, when you're ready, get your space all good to go and we'll begin the class. So we're just going to begin in a downward facing dog. So ground your hands down nice and wide, tuck the toes and draw the hips up towards the ceiling. When you arrive in your downward facing dog, just feel it grounding through the hands and the feet. If you feel tight through the back of the legs, you can pedal through the feet, taking one heel up and then the other. Then come into a little bit of stillness as you work to draw your hips up towards the ceiling. Draw your chest towards your big toes. Keep pushing the hands down and forward. Take a couple of cycles of breath. Then I want you to lift your heels nice and high. Bend your knees, but at the same time keep lifting your hips up. Then slow motion, begin to sink your heels back towards the earth, whether they come all the way down or they just hover. Just focus more on lengthening through the back of the legs. Inhale, come nice and high on the balls of the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips a little bit down, but keep reaching them up. And then work to draw the heels back towards the earth. One more like this, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Then sink the heels all the way back down towards the earth. Take a cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take your eye gaze between your hands and step or hop into your first forward fold. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. You can either bring your hands onto blocks, or I encourage you to grab onto your big toe with your peace fingers. Ground down through the feet and just shift the weight a little bit more into your toes. Drop the crown of your head towards the earth, reach your hips up. Bring a little micro bend into the back of the knees. And see if you can pull on your big toes just to draw you a little bit closer in towards your shins. Take a cycle of breath. Then from here, begin to bend your knees, sink your hips down. Come into a variation of chair pose, but keep pulling on your big toes. Reach the crown of your head forward. Then as you exhale, keep your spine as it is. Keep reaching the crown of the head forward, but straighten the back of your legs. Exhale, come back into chair pose. Inhale, lengthen the legs. Exhale, come back into chair pose. Inhale, lengthen the legs. Exhale, come back into chair pose. Keep pulling on the toes. And then come back into your flat back, lengthen through the legs. And then fold, dropping the crown of the head. Inhale, come into a flat back. Release the fingers. And then as you exhale, step your right foot towards the back of the mat. Drop your back knee down. Keep your fingertips on the floor, just reach your tailbone, so your collarbones forward and the back of the heel back. And then on your next breath, come up into your low lunge, sweep your arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Keep stretching into the front hip flexor, magnetizing your feet towards one another. Nice, steady, even breath. Then slow motion, bring your fingertips down into the earth. Straighten your front legs and find your half splits. If you can't bring your fingertips onto the floor, just bring your hands onto blocks. Otherwise, ground down through the heel, flex your toes towards your face. Little bend through the back of the knee. Take an inhale, lengthen the crown of your head forward, tailbone back. And then as you exhale, come into a fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Shift your weight forward. Bring your fingertips onto the right side of your mat and walk your foot over towards the left. Start first by planting your hands and then picking your back knee up, so coming into your lizard pose. I just want you to shift your hips back and forward, so just find a bit of rocking as we continue to open up. Engage through the back thigh, so really activate it as you draw it up. Keep reaching out through the crown of your head. Then walk your fingertips forward, so come onto the fingertips. Reach your collarbones forward, and then as you exhale, straighten your front leg, come onto the heel, drop the crown of your head. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come forward. Plant your hands and then step your back foot to meet the outer edge of your front hand, and then come into your Yogi Squat. So focus on having your heels down. If your heels are up high, take your feet out wider. Bring your elbows inside of your knees. Reach up through the crown of your head. Connect to a nice, steady, even breath. Push into the feet. As you inhale, straighten your legs, sweep your arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale, walk your feet in, bring your hands towards your heart. Take a cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Begin to hinge at your hips. Extend your right toes towards the back of the mat, and then slow motion, align and arrive into your crescent lunge. Bring a little micro bend through the back knee. Keep reaching up through the heart and the crown of the head. Cycle of breath. Then pivot your back heel and open up into your warrior two. Take your eye gaze over your middle finger. Keep bending into the front knee. Nice, steady, even breath. Then begin to straighten your front leg. Reach your left fingertips forward. Hinge at your hips and then align into your triangle pose. You can either bring your fingertips onto your shin, onto the floor, or onto a block. Focus on pulling your right shoulder blade back as you rotate your bottom ribs, your left ribs up. Take your eye gaze up towards your thumb. Rebend back up into your warrior two. Cycle of breath. Straighten your front leg. Pivot your back toes to the back corner of your mat. Bend into your back knee and then come down into your Skandasana at the back of your mat. You can either be on the ball of the foot or the heel comes down, fingertips on the floor or in front of your heart. Just find the variation and the depth that works for you right now and come back to your breath. Then slow motion, come all the way up. Realign your feet if you need to into your warrior two. Once again, take your eye gaze over your middle finger. Cycle of breath. Step your back foot behind your front heel. So create this T shape with your feet. Square your hips off towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up. And then as you exhale, come into a forward fold. Drop the crown of your head. Allow your fingertips to come onto the floor. And then slowly walk your hands over towards the left side. Reach your right hip back. Feel a stretch through the back of the legs. Then walk the fingertips back towards the middle of the mat. From here, we're going to align into our standing splits. So float your right leg up into the air. Take an inhale, lengthen the crown of your head forward as you float your right toes up. So engage or flex through the leg to keep the leg nice and active. And then exhale, fold over the left thigh. Stay here or bring your left hand onto the back of your left ankle and see if you can pull yourself in just a little bit closer towards your shin. Once again, come back to the breath. Then bring your left fingertips down onto the floor in front of your face. Begin to rotate your right hip open. We're going to align into our half moon. Take your right fingertips up. Your left hand can also be on a block if you need the extra height. Just make sure you're grounding down through the standing toes and you're activating through the floating toes. Stay here or reach for the inner edge of your right foot. If you can grab your foot, begin to kick your foot away from your shoulder as you lift up just a little bit higher. Then slow motion, bring your right hand onto the floor. Drop your right hip, so realign back into your standing splits. Drop the crown of your head. Take a cycle of breath. Bend into your back knee, realign your back foot and come back up into your warrior two. Eye gaze goes over the middle finger. Then straighten the front leg, pivot the left toes so you square off to the long edge of the mat. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take an inhale, puff your heart up. And then as you exhale, come into a wide-legged forward fold. Drop the crown of your head towards the earth and bring your fingertips down. Take a cycle of breath. Walk your fingertips over towards the right side. Push your fingertips down and forward and then draw your left hip back. So feel a stretch through the left side body. Keep maintaining a little bend through the back of the knees to try not to lock the knees. Then walk your hands over to the left side. Push the fingertips down and forward as you draw your right hip back. So really feel the stretch through the side body. Keep coming back to your breath. Fingertips come back towards the middle of the mat. You either have your hands in line with your feet, or if you would like, walk your hands all the way through your legs and drop the crown of your head a little bit closer towards the earth. Keep reaching up through the hips. Then bring your fingertips back through center. Begin to walk your hands over towards the top of the mat. Pivot your left toes so they align and come onto the ball of the back foot. Then begin to hover your back knee just above the mat and sweep your arms up. So you're coming into this hovering low version of a low lunge. Then slow motion, bring your hands back down into the mat. Step back into your down dog. Take a cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then take your eye gaze forward and step or hop into your forward fold. Bring your fingertips onto your thumbs. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Reach the crown of your head forward, tailbone back, and then as you exhale, fold. Put your fingertips onto the floor. Begin to float your left toes towards the back of the mat, slow motion. Drop your back knee down. Reach the crown of your head forward and your left heel back. Magnetize your feet towards one another. Then slow motion, begin to sweep your arms up, low lunge. Nice, steady, even breath. Then bring your fingertips down, shift your hips back and find your version of your half splits with your hands either on blocks or without. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine, reach the crown of your head forward, and then as you exhale, fold. Rebend into the front knee. Plant your hands on the left side of the mat, underneath the shoulders, and then just walk your right foot to the edge of the mat. Pick your back knee up, so engage through the back thigh and find your lizard pose. Nice, strong, activated leg through the left side, and maybe shift the weight back and forth just to stretch a little bit more into the hip. Bring your fingertips onto the mat, just slightly forward of your front foot, and then from here, lengthen your collarbones forward, and then as you exhale, shift your hips back, come onto the heel of the front foot, and drop the crown of your head. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come forward. Plant your hands and then step your back foot to meet your front and find your Yogi Squat. Hands come in front of the heart, reach up through the crown of your head. Nice, steady, even breath. As you inhale, push into your feet, straighten your legs, sweep your arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale, walk your feet in, hands towards the heart. Cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm just going to realign to the back of the mat so you guys can continue to see me. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Begin to hinge at your hips as you slow motion step your left toes towards the back of the mat. Sweep your arms up and align into your crescent lunge. Keep reaching up through the crown of your head, pull your shoulders down and back. Nice, steady, even breath. Then slow motion, open out into your warrior two. So pivot your back heel so it's parallel to the short edge. Eye gaze goes over the middle finger. Begin to straighten your front leg. Reach your right fingertips forward. Keep a little micro bend in the right knee as you hinge at the hips. Find your variation of your triangle pose. Rebend back into the knee, come back into your warrior two. Cycle of breath. Straighten your front leg, pivot your back toes to the back corner of your mat, bend into your back knee, and then come down and find your variation of your Skandasana. Fingertips come down or in front of your heart. Keep connecting to your breath. Then slow motion, push into your feet, come back up, and just realign into your warrior two. Once again, eye gaze over the middle finger, nice steady even breath. Then walk your back foot as it is behind your front heel, so create this T shape. Square your hips off towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips as your fingertips come down, crown of the head comes down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold once again. Walk your hands over towards the right side. Keep drawing your left hip back. Feel length through the back of the leg. Then right fingertips come down onto the mat. Float your left leg up into the air. Find your variation of your standing splits. Remember to activate through the standing toes and see if you can point or flex the floating leg. Stay here or right hand comes behind the right ankle. Draw yourself in just a little bit closer towards your leg. Right fingertips come down into the mat. Open up into your half moon, so open your left hip up towards the ceiling, left fingertips go up. Stay here or bend into the floating knee and reach for the foot. If you can grab it, see if you can kick your foot away from your shoulder, keep lifting up. Slow motion, begin to bend into your front knee, release the foot, and realign back into your warrior two. Eye gaze goes over the middle finger. Cycle of breath. Begin to straighten the front leg, pivot your feet so they're parallel to the short edge. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, puff your heart up. And as you exhale, come into your forward fold. Fingertips come down, crown of the head comes down. Stay here and take a cycle of breath. Then begin to walk your hands through your legs. Keep reaching your hips up, dropping the crown of your head down. Slow motion, walk your fingertips back in line with the feet. Pivot your right toes back towards the top of the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Hover your back knee down just above the mat and then sweep your arms up. Take a couple of rounds of breath. Slow motion, bring your hands down. Step back, down dog. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Wave yourself forward, find your high plank. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Think about having a nice, straight, strong core. Engage through the glutes. Push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling. Slow motion, lower your knees down for a count of 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes and just for a moment sit back onto your heels. Take a cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Come onto your knees. Extend your arms forward. Same concept when we're in our plank pose. I want you to draw your belly in towards your spine, activate through your glutes. Think about having a nice straight line. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. Take an inhale and without curving your spine, exhale, lean back. Activate through your quads. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, come forward. Last one, exhale, lean back. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Slow motion, lift. Come back onto your heels. Take a cycle of breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. From here, extend your left leg forward. Bring your right knee out from your hip at a 90-degree angle. Flex your right foot. Square yourself off to your left leg. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine. And then as you exhale, come to a fold to whatever degree is comfortable for you. I want you to bring softness through the back of your knee and allow your left foot to also be soft. Find those rounds of breath. See if you can just check in with your face and your jaw. No noticing the quality of your breath. And if there's just anywhere that you're just holding on to, any unnecessary tension, see if you can encourage a little bit more of a lightness and a softness. In slow motion, begin to rise. Take your right leg forward. Bring your left knee out from the hip at a 90-degree angle. See if you can take your foot out a little bit wider. Square yourself off to your right foot. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, once again, find your fold. Bring softness through the back of your knee. So really release the knee and release the foot. And just notice the difference in the sides. So my right side is definitely tighter than my left. So I feel it a lot more. But whatever it is that you begin to notice, whatever it is that you begin to experience, just meet the experience with breath. See if you can leave any sort of narratives or what is experiencing at the door. Just come with it, come to the experience with an open mind, and then allow it to unfold just as it is. Take one more inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Slowly begin to walk your hands up. Bring your legs in line with one another. Just windshield wiper your feet from side to side a little bit. So 2 options here. If you feel very called to come into your Shavasana, so laying on your back, please feel free to do so. I always highly recommend taking this time, even if it's just for a couple of rounds of breath, to connect to stillness. Otherwise, you can come into an easy seat. Bring your hands into your lap or onto your knees. Just take a moment to close your eyes. Come back to your breath. And just notice the quality and the difference of where you are right now compared to where you were at the start of the class. So often I will encourage students to come back to the breath, because bringing awareness to the breath is a really simple action that can ground us into the present moment. And whether we are grounded in the present moment for just a single second, or we are able to maintain that awareness for a minute or 2 minutes or however long, just know that when you do come back to the present moment, you're allowing your mind to take a break from the thoughts of the past and the thoughts of the future. You come back to the real and true nature of what is occurring, instead of creating or remembering stories that do not influence the current moment. So when we come to the current moment, we connect to an inner silence and an inner stillness. And it is there that we can experience a deep inner peace. So when you're ready, let's end this class with one last breath cycle. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Take a nice, long, deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Let's do one more like this. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Now I would like to close this class with an Om. Om is the universal sound, the hymn of the universe. So you can participate with me if you would like, if this is something that's familiar to you, or please feel free just to stay to listen to the sound. I will begin with a breath. If your eyes are not already open, you can begin to open them. Thank you guys so much for being here for this little class today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Namaste.